Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Your Black World Network. Today I saw something that was written by or a quote from Dr. Ben Carson. He's a great surgeon up in at Johns Hopkins Hospital, and he's decided to jump into politics. And I think it's good. I think anybody with that much passion should get out there and say what he believes, and I think he's a breath of fresh air to people that agree with him. I know my mother loves Dr. Ben Carson. I think he's interesting. You know, some things he says I love, some things he says I'm trying to figure out where he's going with that. But one thing that he said that was interesting to me was he mentioned families, and he said that broken families were a big part of the reason that we have so much poverty, incarceration, marginalization, etc. And you know what? I agree with him. When you have a single parent household, you have less money coming into the house than you would if you had two parents who were out working. When you have a single parent household, you have less time to spend with the kids and to monitor the kids and to teach the kids than you do when you have a two parent household. Also, I believe that when you talk about raising children who are capable of maintaining relationships and families, kids from two parent households have dealt with opposite sex parents who force them to learn the ins and outs and the difficulties of dealing with the opposite sex and making a family stay together. And a lot of young people have kind of lost that skill. But here's the thing that Ben Carson, I think, needs to also understand is that if you're going to talk about the importance of maintaining families, then you must understand why families are broken. There was a study that showed that there was about a 2.5% increase in the percentage of black women who didn't get married for every 1% increase in the incarceration rate. Well, guess what? If you're locking all the men up like we did during the war on drugs for about 20, 30 years, well, you're not going to have as many men to marry. You're not going to have as much, as many families being built and families being maintained as you would if these men were free and not being marginalized for the rest of their lives. Men have to have the ability to provide for a family. They have to have the ability to go out and protect their family. And if you are locking them up and then, telling them once they get out they can't get jobs, they can't get opportunities, well, then guess what? You're destroying families. So you can't destroy families on one hand and then get mad because families don't exist on the other hand. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I destroy something and then get mad at you because that thing I destroyed doesn't exist anymore? So I think that if someone like Ben Carson wants to talk about the breakdown of the black family in America, then please talk about that. But also, and after you finish that conversation, you need to join up in the campaign that I've created with Russell Simmons and about 150 celebrities and public figures to end the war on drugs and to come up with a more equitable form of justice. It does not mean we're letting all the criminals out. It doesn't mean that we don't think some people need to go to prison. No, it means that if you go to prison, we're going to give you a sentence that matches the magnitude of the crime. We're not going to give you 150 years in prison for a first-time nonviolent offense just because it involves drugs. We're not going to put you in prison and then set you up so that once you get out, you can never get a job again or you can never really provide for your family again, because we want individuals to go to prison to be rehabilitated, number one, and then when they get out, we want them to have an opportunity to be productive members of society if that's what they choose to be. Because guess what? When we produce productive members of society, then families stay together. Our society is safer. As it stands right now, the problem is we have intergenerational commitments to the incarceration rate. We make billions of dollars from this. We have, sons being sentenced by the same judges that their fathers were sentenced by. You have young men and young women growing up without parents in the household who don't know the first thing about what it takes to maintain a family because nobody was there to teach them. They're also entering the criminal justice system. So you're creating this intergenerational problem because you're refusing to look at how the whole equation comes together. So this campaign that I'm doing with Russell, the cat's out of the bag now. Russell was talking about it on CNN, so I'll talk about it now. We've got celebrities and public figures all the way across the board. Everybody from Chris Rock and Jennifer Hudson to people like Michelle Alexander, the author of The New Jim Crow, Reverend Jesse Jackson, the presidents of Spelman and Morehouse. We've also got people like Scarlett Johansson, and many others that believe in this issue. Even Ice Cube signed on. So we're basically forming a broad coalition of people that believe in making America safer, creating a more equitable justice system, and rebuilding families in our country. And I hope you'll join this fight. So that's all I want to share with you today. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Have a good day.